friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Carrie Cox and I help people use their personal power to build a connection between mind, body, and spirit. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to get physical freedom from your pain. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button and smash that bell notification button so you can be notified when I release future videos. So how do we get freedom from our physical pain? One of the most common emotions that's linked to our physical pain is fear. I work a lot with people who are suffering from chronic pain, and by the time they get to me, they've usually had scans done on the structure body. They've usually seen many different practitioners, been through many different aspects of conventional Western medicine, and still cannot find relief from their physical pain. And yes, I do typically 90% of the time will find physical trigger points and tightness and tension in the fascia. But underneath that, there is a story being told in the body. And so we don't want to just attack the physical body. We want to attack all three aspects of mind, body, and spirit, because there is a link in all of the pain that we experience in our bodies. I think that the reason why a lot of people struggle to get better without a practitioner or somebody guiding them through the process is because we are used to, in Western society, breaking the body up into systems and treating symptoms and not looking at the root cause. And it's really hard to make this connection between these three different aspects of our being and link where that pain is coming from. And so if we just attack the physical body and we just do the body work, yes, a lot of time we will definitely heal it and get better and feel better, but then months to years down the road, sometimes that starts to creep back in. The pain starts to come back because we just put a band-aid on it. We didn't go in and heal all of the triggers and traumas and wounds that we're holding on to in the body. So when I work with people one-on-one, if they are open to it, I will help them release the emotion that they are holding in the body that's causing the tension or the chronic pain to begin with. And a lot of times, the thing underneath it is going to be triggered from fear. We're healing mind, body, and spirit like this. I can tell you that there is no quick fix. There is no quick band-aid. We have to go through and walk the path. We have to walk the path to go in and face the fear. You cannot take a magic pill to get better. A lot of times people will go and have surgery and even still feel that pain after the surgery because we're just treating symptoms at that point. So it's important to know that when you are dealing with any kind of physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain, that this is an inner self journey. It is a journey to go within. Once you go within and fix those inner wounds and heal that inner trauma, the outside external stuff is just going to fall away on its own. We come to Earth to have these earthly 3D experiences. And so we come here knowing that life is going to be painful, knowing that we are going to experience pain and we're going to experience pleasure. We're going to experience fear and we're going to experience love. We're going to see the beauty in all things, but we're also going to experience the darkness as well as the light. And we're meant to experience these things because in other dimensions, we don't get to experience those types of things the way we get to experience that here in the 3D. We want to recognize that it's important that we move through and we grow through these painful experiences and that we go within and look at things like our fears, because it's the going in and experiencing it again and looking at it that helps to heal it and let go of it. These are spiritual lessons for us. This is how we transform. This is how we grow. And this is exactly what we came here to do. We don't grow in our comfort zone. We only grow when we take risks. So fear is something that can take our power away from us. But if we gain the power to heal our perception of that fear, we can take our power back. Deepak Chopra says, fear is the memory of pain, addiction is the memory of pleasure, and freedom is beyond both. Every choice we make is either in fear or faith. And I tell my clients that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. And so fear is a man-made illusion. And when we can see beyond the illusion of the fear and know that it is just an old pattern that's kicking in and replaying itself, it's a story, an old story, that the body is triggered into having an automatic response so that we relive that story. And when we realize that that story is false evidence appearing real, then we can heal our perception of that story. So as Deepak Chopra said, fear only falls into two categories. Which category is the fear that you fall into? Is it fear of pain or fear of freedom? Think about that. Ultimate freedom is extracting our consciousness from anything that enslaves it to be a habit or automatic thinking, feeling, or reactions. And fear paralyzes our actions. Fear shuts down our brain. It switches our brain into fight or flight, and it holds us back in life, causes fragmentation. We start to go unconscious. We may start to panic, and we may start to be confused because we are looking at the world through the lens of our own fears. So I may have a different fear than you, because if I'm looking at it through the fear of loss of freedom and you're looking at it through fear of abandonment, then we are going to see the world in two totally different ways. But we need to change our thought process. We need to change our perception so that we can knock down the fear and see the world through a lens that doesn't have fear, because the fear is what is holding us back. The fear is what's holding us back from healing ourselves. We all have the ability to heal ourselves. I'm a facilitator for other people's healing. I help guide them through healing. I may be helping them release something emotionally or mentally and even physically, but I'm just the facilitator guiding them. I'm their guide, and they are healing themselves. I am showing them how to heal themselves. We all have to take responsibility for healing ourselves, because when we heal ourselves, we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. Another illusion is that we have to put that responsibility outside of ourselves. We don't rely on other people to heal us. We heal ourselves. And the way we do that is by gaining ultimate freedom, which is taking our consciousness from anything that is enslaving us to a habit. And when we're talking about the human body, one of those habits can end up being your autonomic nervous system. When we are triggered in fear, our autonomic nervous system kicks in, and our sympathetic nervous system kicks off our flight or fight response. And this is exactly what the body is supposed to do. The body is protecting us. But the problem is that sometimes it can create this feedback loop where it loops in response to fight or flight, and it's constantly kicking off fight or flight when we are not in danger. So what is the autonomic nervous system? Well, it does exactly what it sounds like. It's the part of our nervous system that takes care of itself. It's automatic. We don't have to think about turning it on. We don't have to think about doing anything. It kicks on for us. It regulates our heartbeat, regulates our breathing, and it regulates our digestion. And it used to be said that we had no control over our autonomic nervous system. But a very unique individual named Wim Hof has proven to science over and over and over again that through your breath work, you can control, you can learn and teach your body how to regulate and control its own autonomic nervous system, which is fascinating to me. So if you want to learn and watch his story, check him out on YouTube. It is absolutely amazing that he has figured out how you can control your own autonomic nervous system. Because like I said, we have the power to heal ourselves. We have the power to take control of our own body. The problem is when our mind and our body are disconnected from one another and we are not conscious, we can fall into these really bad habits and patterns. And instead of our body working for us, it can start to work against us. So the autonomic nervous system, it has automatic habits and patterns and movements and actions that it takes on its own without us telling it to do anything. It just does it on its own. And within the autonomic nervous system, there are two different nervous systems that branch off of that. And one is the sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight or flight, and the other is our parasympathetic nervous system, which in simple terms is rest and digest. So when we are running from that bear, when we are in danger, our body goes into fight or flight. And when this happens, our systems start to take control of our heart rate, of our breathing, and of our digestion. In fact, what it does is it shuts our digestive down when we go into fight or flight. It makes sure that all of the vital organs are protected and all of the blood is going to the vital organs. The system itself is on alert to be ready. It is on high alert. So what it's doing is it's going to increase our heart rate. It's going to increase glucose. It's going to prepare us to fight, to take flight, or to freeze. And when we are no longer in danger, the body, the autonomic nervous system, will kick off parasympathetic nervous system, which will now start to slow everything down, and it will calm the body. It will produce hormones and release hormones that are calming to the body. It will slow down the heart rate. And it will start digestion, and it will bring us into a state of calmness. And this is, in this state, we have the ability to meditate. We have the ability to heal in this state. We do not have the ability to heal when our body is in sympathetic nervous system. And we know this. This has been proven over and over again. This is why they say stress is a major factor and cause of most illnesses and diseases. And the way to combat stress is to do things that kick off your parasympathetic nervous system. So getting a massage, doing yoga, taking a bath, anything that promotes relaxation for you is pushing your body into parasympathetic nervous system. And this is where we heal. The problem happens when people are perpetually and habitually always in fight or flight. Their body's never healing. And one of the signs that this is happening is you have a hard time sleeping, because you only sleep when you're resting and digesting. And if you're not sleeping, then your body can't, it's not calming down. It's not going into healing mode. And so some people are rarely ever going into healing mode. So where does all this take place? And how does this kick off chronic pain? How do we feel physical pain from all this? Well, what happens is when our sympathetic nervous system is constantly being kicked off, it starts to produce muscle tension. And that's where we start to feel the muscles getting tight and tense. So then we start to feel the chronic pain, the chronic muscle pain. And where this takes place is at the nerve plexuses. We have these nerve plexuses that line the spinal cord. In the East, we call these the chakras. And in the West, these are nerve plexuses or energy centers, but they are big groupings of nerves that are at the spine in a big group. They're bundled together. They branch outward to a set of organs that are associated to that nerve bunch. And then information flows out and in. And when it flows in, it comes in through that group of nerves and then up to the brain, where it communicates to the brain. The easiest way to find information on this is to use the word chakras, because it's this amazing knowledge that yogis had 5,000 years ago, which just blows my mind. that we in the West don't recognize that we have this tool that we can easily categorize what nerve plexus is producing what symptoms, and it's all interconnected. And it's just fascinating to me that this whole thing is interconnected, and how all of these systems and controls, and it's all functioning. And at the end of the day, all of these systems and the entire human body, its primary goal is to find balance. That's it. It's looking for balance. So it's going to compensate where it needs to compensate to find balance. So if we aren't finding balance in our life, if we aren't finding balance in calming our mind down, calming our body down, then we aren't achieving homeostasis, which starts producing problems within the body. And fear are one of these things that can trigger that imbalance. So we have to take our power back and take hold of that fear, not just in the physical body, but also mentally. We have to do the consciousness work with it, and then we have to do the physical body work, and we have to do the spiritual work. And that is that trinity of mind, body, and spirit. So when we experience fear, what happens is we get a triggering response in our autonomic nervous system, which triggers the sympathetic nervous system to kick off fight or flight. Sends a signal that says we are in danger, creates stress in the body. Everything in the body starts to become overactive. It starts to tense our muscles, dilate our pupils, our breathing becomes shallow, and then hormones are produced like adrenaline and cortisol. Our body is now in high alert. When it's in high alert and our breathing gets shallow, we have muscles in our neck called the scalenes that are going to become over-shortened and tight from the shallow breathing, compensating because that's not their main job. We start to get neck tension and tightness, which can lead to headaches and jaw pain. This can affect our digestion. It could start to create pain in our low back. So when this happens, what do we do about it? Well, we have to learn that we need to switch into parasympathetic nervous system for the sake of the body. So let's talk about the body first. For the sake of the body, we have to start switching our body into parasympathetic nervous system every single day. We need to do things, make time to do things that are relaxing. Make time to do some light exercise. If we're always doing HIIT training or always running and we're always doing these high impact workouts, well, we're taxing the body, we're taxing the adrenal glands, we're taxing that sympathetic nervous system. We also need to do things that help calm us and bring us into parasympathetic nervous system. So you should be limiting your high impact workouts to 3 times a week, and on those other days you should be doing low impact stuff that promote parasympathetic nervous system, like some yoga or some tai chi or some qigong, anything where you are going to promote that more relaxing meditative exercise. We want to get into doing daily meditation practices or some breath work, and these things are also going to help us expand our consciousness, which are going to help us battle through the mental and emotional aspects of the fear. Now, at the end of the day, what is my top trick for fixing this? Well, at the end of the day, it's to learn to become present. Because when we learn to become present in the moment, this is when we are going to have some control over that autonomic nervous system. And we're going to switch our nervous system by training ourselves to become present. It's going to be very difficult at first, and our body's going to fight it. Our body doesn't want to find calmness when it's always being triggered in fight or flight. So you have to train it. The body has to learn how to do it because it's got to be a habit. It's got to be habitual, and it takes 21 days to create a habit. So if you need to spend 21 days meditating and learning to become present and switching your nervous system over, then you need to start doing this daily to create this habit for yourself. This is going to help you feel each experience fully, so that when we do feel our body going into fight or flight, we can become aware and mindful of it, and we can start to use these tools that we're going to practice in order to help us move through it. At the end of the day, you have to remember that fear is just a story you tell yourself. It's false evidence becoming real because it's a habitual story, and we're going to work our way through feeling that story and moving out of the darkness and moving it into the light. It is an illusion, and it's a pattern that's stuck in your subconsciousness. Bring it to your consciousness and bring it out of the darkness and into the light. If you're unsure of where your fears are coming from, what your fears are, or where your blockages are within your energy centers, I do offer a session that we can do online. If you're not here in Arizona, then we can definitely do it over Zoom, and I can go into your chakras and read your chakras, align them, help you to balance those chakras so that we can move through those fears and move through those triggers. I will put a link in the description box below, linking to a description about what the session is and some testimonials so that you can see how others have been able to heal themselves with this session and help them combat their fears and get out of their anxiety or that over-triggering of fight or flight. At the end of the day, we do have to remember that everything is connected. Therefore, our mind, our body, and our spirit are also connected. And we can't just heal one aspect without looking at the other. So whether we're looking at our fears or any other kind of emotion that we may be holding on to in our body, that it resides somewhere in our physical body, and we need to find it and let go of it, move through the experience and realize that it is part of the past. It doesn't affect us today in the present. Stay present, stay true to yourself, and have a blessed day. Thank you, my beautiful friends. Namaste.